Beloved chosen one, listen, heaven took notice. You thought no one saw the nights you cried, the moments you obeyed even when it hurt, the prayers whispered when no one was watching. But God saw every act of obedience, every moment of surrender, every quiet yes in the middle of your storm. He recorded it. Heaven did not overlook you. You may have felt invisible on earth, but in heaven's courtroom, your name was mentioned. You were tested in silence. When others were chasing applause, you chose faithfulness. When doors slammed shut, you didn't curse God, you waited. You didn't realize that your waiting became worship. The angels leaned close to watch, for it is rare in these times to find one who obeys when obedience costs comfort. And you, chosen one, did not turn away. Heaven has been whispering your name across eternity. God watched when you said no to what could have destroyed you. He saw when you loved those who wounded you, when you kept believing though you saw no sign. You thought it was weakness, but heaven called it worship. Your obedience became incense before the throne, of fragrance that does not fade. Now heaven is moving. The silence was not neglect, it was set up. The Father is about to speak, not in riddles, not in fragments, but in revelation. What you endured in private will now make sense in public. The storm didn't break you, it positioned you. You are about to understand that your obedience unlocked doors that talent and influence never could. The Word of God declares in the first book of Samuel, chapter 15, verse 22, "To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams." That is why your yes mattered more than your offering. Your surrender was the key. Heaven measured hearts, not hands, and yours was found faithful. God says, "I saw you when you obeyed and nobody clapped. I saw you when you forgave and no one apologized. I saw you when you served in hidden places, when you loved without recognition, when you stayed pure while others compromised." He saw you, chosen one, and now he's ready to reward you. Listen carefully, this is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. You were led here to be reminded that heaven keeps receipts. You have not labored in vain. Every step of obedience wrote your name deeper into his plan. The time of revealing has begun. This message reaches you because your faithfulness triggered heaven's response. Doors that were locked by disobedience are opening through your surrender. The same obedience that once cost you comfort will now clothe you with glory. You will no longer be overlooked. You are heaven's reminder that obedience still moves the heart of God. And now, the one who saw you obey is ready to tell you everything. The season of silence is breaking, the scrolls are being opened. Prepare your heart. Chosen one, what was hidden is about to be revealed. Now, if this message burns in your spirit, don't scroll away. Take a moment to breathe, to whisper, "I'm ready, Lord." Then, as an act of faith, like this message, share it with another soul who's been waiting for a sign, and subscribe to stay connected to this flow of divine revelation. Heaven is moving, and this is your confirmation. Comment 777 below as a prophetic sign that you hear heaven's voice and that you are ready for what comes next. Chosen one, the hidden season shaped you in silence. You thought you were forgotten, buried beneath disappointment and delay. But God was cultivating something sacred within you. Hiddenness was never punishment, it was protection. You were not buried to die, you were planted to grow. Heaven covers its most precious seeds until the time is right for revelation. In the shadows, you learned what applause could never teach. You discovered that purpose is purified in loneliness. You learned to pray without audience, to trust without evidence, to worship without reward. Every tear watered roots that no storm can now uproot. The secret place became your sanctuary, the wilderness, your classroom. God was watching as you wrestled with silence. When you asked, "Why me?" heaven answered, "Because I can trust you." While others were seen and celebrated, you were hidden so you could be holy. While others were rushing ahead, you were being refined in patience. The hidden season is where obedience becomes identity. You didn't realize it, but angels were stationed around your waiting. The delay wasn't denial, it was divine timing aligning your preparation with your purpose. Heaven's timing is perfect, and the Lord would not allow you to step into visibility before your roots could sustain the weight of the calling. In that quiet space, God stripped away what was not eternal. He pulled you away from distractions, from shallow approval, from empty pursuits. He removed voices that diluted His word. The isolation made you feel abandoned. But truly, it was God clearing the noise so you could hear Him clearly. You were not hidden from purpose, you were hidden for it. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 45. Verse 3, "I will give you the treasures of darkness, riches stored in secret places, so that you may know that I am the Lord." Yes, treasures of darkness. What you thought was emptiness was actually a vault of revelation. In that dark place you found endurance, discernment, and the unshakable peace that no stage or spotlight can provide. The treasures gained in silence are the very keys that will sustain you in the seasons ahead. God was training you to hear Him when no one else understood. He was teaching you to move by faith, not feelings. To recognize His whisper even when the world screamed otherwise. The hidden season purified your motives until your desire became only Him. You stopped striving to be seen because you realized being known by heaven is greater than being noticed by men. You have no idea how close you are to the unveiling. Every test, every closed door, every quiet yes built the foundation of your future influence. You are being released now with purity, with power, with patience forged in the waiting. When the moment of revealing comes, you won't crumble under the weight of favor because you were shaped in the fire of obscurity. Chosen one. The silence of God never meant His absence. It meant He was near enough to refine you, not loud enough to distract you. You were never forgotten, you were being fashioned. The hidden season was heaven's investment in your destiny. Now lift your head. The season of concealment is ending. The light is coming not to expose you, but to reveal what God built in secret. And when it does, the world will know the hidden ones were the chosen ones all along. Chosen one. Remember the nights when you almost gave up, when strength drained out of your bones and prayer felt like breathing through fire. When you looked at your reflection and whispered, "I can't do this anymore." Heaven heard that whisper not as defeat, but as the sound of a warrior in the middle of transformation. You thought you were breaking, but God was birthing something through your pain. Every moment you nearly quit became the soil where divine favor now takes root. Every time you rose again, you preached a sermon to the unseen realms. I still trust Him. The darkness trembled when you refused to stop. What felt like the end was actually the beginning of revelation. The Word of God declares in the book of Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Those words were written for you, the one who almost quit but didn't. Heaven was taking notes when you held your peace instead of responding in anger. God saw you stay faithful while feeling forgotten. Each act of endurance became a seed, and harvest always follows seed. You didn't know that in your exhaustion. Angels stood guard, covering your fragile faith. They whispered courage into your soul when all you could do was cry. The enemy hoped your silence meant surrender. But God knew silence could be sacred where He does His deepest work. Chosen one, You were never fighting alone. The same God who held you through your worst nights is the one preparing to crown you in daylight. The battle that almost ended you became the bridge that carries you into destiny. You've been tempered like steel, every flame only made you stronger. There were moments when heaven stayed silent, not because God ignored you, but because he was finishing what he started. He was aligning hearts, moving people, arranging paths you couldn't yet see. Sometimes the miracle is not escape, it's endurance. You outlasted what was meant to destroy you. Every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every moment of confusion, they were all counted. You didn't lose time. You gained depth. You didn't lose your way. You learned to walk by faith. What you thought was punishment was preparation. Now the wind is shifting. You will soon see why you had to pass through fire. God did not let you fall because your story was not meant to end there. There is still more to reveal, more glory, more purpose, more life than you imagined. And when the light breaks through, you'll realize it was never about surviving the pain, it was about transforming through it. The scars you carry are proof that you have already won battles most people never face. So now, chosen one, or take a deep breath. Feel the pulse of heaven saying, you made it. The same spirit that raised Christ from the dead is alive in you. Your perseverance became prophecy. You are stepping into the season you once prayed for through tears. Comment, I still stand, because that's your testimony through every storm, through every loss, through every night you didn't think you'd survive, you still stand. And heaven celebrates you for it. And as you stand, light gathers around you. Every shadow that haunted you now flees. You are living proof that grace wins every battle, every time. Chosen one. Heaven keeps records more carefully than men keep score. Nothing done in faith ever disappears. Every unseen act of obedience, every sacrifice no one thanked you for, it was written in the divine ledger. The King does not forget the labor of his faithful ones. What you offered in secret has reached the throne. And now the time of remembrance has come. You might have believed that silence meant insignificance. But the truth is that God was documenting your faith. Each prayer uttered in exhaustion, each moment you loved when it would have been easier to leave, became evidence in heaven's book. The divine ledger is not ink and paper, it is woven from tears, choices, and endurance, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old in Malachi. Chapter 3, verse 16. Then those who feared the Lord talked with each other, and the Lord listened and heard. A scroll of remembrance was written in his presence concerning those who feared the Lord and honored his name. Do you see it? Even your smallest act of faith echoed loud enough to be written in that scroll. The moments you thought were meaningless became eternal. You have been recorded not by your failures, but by your faithfulness. Heaven never forgets loyalty born in love. When you gave your last coin, heaven wrote it. When you forgave though you were still bleeding, heaven wrote it. When you chose humility over revenge, heaven wrote it. When you said, God, I still trust you, even when hope seemed gone, heaven wrote it. The ledger over your life is full, and now the author is about to read it aloud. God is righteous. He does not overlook those who labor in love. What you did for him, even in weakness, Gut Salmo, carries eternal weight. You thought obedience vanished into the void, but every seed sown in faith germinates beneath the surface until heaven commands. Now is the time. Chosen one, this is that time. The book of remembrance is being opened. What was once hidden under pain is being turned into divine evidence that you belong to him. You will soon see the manifestation of promises long delayed, not because you earned it, but because God is just. When others forgot your kindness, heaven remembered. When your efforts were mocked, heaven smiled. When you walked alone, heaven walked beside you. The divine ledger holds more than deeds, it holds the heartbeat of your devotion. The Lord has seen your quiet endurance, your refusal to give up even when weary. He has seen you standing between faith and despair, choosing faith again and again. You may have felt unseen, but you were never unrecorded. Now heaven prepares to reward you openly. You will not need to defend yourself. The records of heaven speak louder than any accusation. Every lie spoken against you will collapse under the truth written in the King's hand. Take comfort, chosen one. Nothing righteous ever goes unnoticed by God. The one who counts the stars also counts your sacrifices. The divine ledger proves that you have lived faithfully, and heaven is preparing to repay you in full measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Chosen one, you are marked by obedience. Heaven has placed its seal upon your spirit, not because of perfection, but because of surrender. The mark is invisible to the world, yet unmistakable in the realm of the spirit. Darkness recognizes it, angels honor it, heaven smiles at it. You have been set apart, not separated in pride, but distinguished by purpose. When others chased recognition, you chose righteousness. When compromise offered comfort, you chose the cross. Obedience has marked you as heaven's property. His light rests upon your shoulders like a mantle of quiet glory. You didn't realize that every yes you whispered became a sound wave in heaven. It built a rhythm of trust that reached the Father's heart. Each act of obedience was like a drop of oil poured upon an altar. Over time, those drops formed a river, and now that river flows back toward you carrying blessings, revelation, and divine favor, according to what is revealed in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 2. All these blessings will come upon you and overtake you if you obey the Lord your God. Do you feel it now, the current of divine pursuit? Blessings chasing you not because you demanded them, but because you chose obedience when no one understood. The mark of obedience draws favor like fragrance draws attention. It cannot be hidden. But with that mark also comes a calling to be a vessel through which light flows. You are not meant to keep what heaven pours into you. You are meant to let it overflow. The love that has reached you now asks to reach others. You become the channel through which hope moves, the hands through which grace touches the world. That is why every message like this one exists, to reach another weary soul who thinks God has forgotten them. Each word you hear today is not just sound, it is seed. And seeds grow only when shared, watered, and given away. So if this word has touched something deep inside you, if you feel that quiet warmth of confirmation, help us let it reach one more heart. Like this message, share it so others may be reminded that they, too, are seen. Subscribe, not out of obligation, but to remain within the flow of these divine whispers. And if your spirit stirs, consider sowing into this mission not as payment, never as pressure, but as participation. Think of it like lighting another candle from the one in your hand, or releasing a ripple across still water. Your giving becomes motion, one act of obedience igniting countless others. Every offering, whether a prayer, a kind word, or a donation, is a seed that says, "Let this light keep burning." You are never giving to a voice, you are giving through it to the work heaven began. Chosen one, your obedience has marked you, and your generosity will move mountains you'll never even see. You are proof that light still shines in dark places. Keep walking in that light, keep letting it overflow, and heaven will continue to chase you down with blessings that no hand can hold. Chosen one, there is always a whisper before the storm. God never lets his children step into a season of shaking without first sending a quiet warning, a holy whisper that only the obedient can hear. You have felt it lately, the subtle stirring in your spirit, the sense that something is about to shift. That is not anxiety. That is heaven preparing you for divine movement. In the stillness, he has been speaking softly, testing whether your heart can hear beyond the noise. Those who rush miss it, but you, patient, watchful, surrendered, you caught the whisper. You didn't know it, but that whisper carried instruction. Heaven does not shout when it wants to prepare you. It whispers to those close enough to listen. The voice of God thundered in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing his plan to his servants, the prophets. This means God never moves without a message. Before the storm breaks, he gives a word to those marked by obedience. You, chosen one, are one of them. You are not here by coincidence. You are here because heaven needed you to hear this before the next wave arrives. Do not fear the shaking. It is not meant to destroy you. The storm coming is not punishment. It is purification. It will separate what is built on sand from what is rooted in faith. The whisper you hear now is not warning of disaster. It is invitation into destiny. You are standing in a moment where delay meets direction. The Spirit is saying, "Do not move without me." The next season of your life will not be guided by logic, but by listening. Obedience to the whisper will save you from unnecessary storms. Many have ignored the whisper and drowned in the noise, but you, chosen one, will not. You've learned to trust the quiet voice that others overlook. That is why heaven entrusts you with revelation, because you listen when others argue. The whisper carries divine coordinates. It will tell you when to speak and when to stay silent, when to move and when to wait. It may feel small, but it directs mountains. Obedience to a whisper can open gates that years of striving could not. This moment is sacred. Heaven's atmosphere is shifting around you, tuning your heart to the frequency of revelation. What was unclear will soon be undeniable. You will recognize his voice in every silence, his presence in every pause. When the whisper comes again, don't rush past it. Stop. Listen. Write it down. It may be the instruction that births your breakthrough. It may be the sentence that changes your story forever. And when you hear that whisper, remember it is proof that you are loved, chosen, and trusted. God does not speak secrets to strangers. He reveals them to his friends. You are one of them. Now, if this word has stirred your spirit and you know you've heard his whisper before, affirm it by leaving a sign of faith below. Comment 555 not as a ritual, but as a declaration that you are tuned to heaven's frequency, ready to obey the whisper before the storm. Chosen one, what was concealed is being revealed. The long silence is over. Heaven is parting the veil between mystery and manifestation. For years, your anointing has lived in secret places, working quietly beneath the surface, forming character before displaying power. Now the time has come for unveiling. The same God who hid you for protection is revealing you for purpose. You once questioned the waiting, wondering why others were seen while you remained unseen. But heaven's wisdom has its own timing. When diamonds are formed, they are hidden in darkness under immense pressure. When gold is refined, it is buried in fire until the impurities fall away. You were in both the darkness and the fire, and that is why your light now shines with rare strength. The prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it lingers, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. Your appointed time has arrived. The revelation that lingered, the promise that seemed paused, is awakening. Heaven delayed not to deny, but to develop. You were being prepared to carry what others would have dropped. There were mantles too heavy for untested hands, but you were forged through surrender, and now your hands are ready. The great revealing is not just about public recognition, it is about divine alignment. God is positioning you where your obedience will make the greatest impact. He is pulling you from obscurity not to inflate your ego, but to display His glory. This unveiling will not look like fame. It will look like function. The world will not just see your light, they will feel its warmth. In this season, clarity will replace confusion. The dreams that felt disconnected will suddenly make sense. The places where you felt overlooked will become platforms of purpose. The conversations you thought were random were actually divine rehearsals for what's about to unfold. Nothing was wasted, not the pain, not the silence, not even the mistakes. Each moment was a brushstroke in the masterpiece now being revealed. Chosen one, the revealing will come with weight. Glory always does. The spotlight of heaven is not gentle, it exposes everything, both gold and grain. But do not fear exposure, for you have already been purified in private. You carry integrity that cannot be corrupted by attention. What once hid you will now hold you. This unveiling will be gradual but unstoppable. It begins in whispers, then manifests in waves. People who once ignored you will sense a new authority when you speak. Your words will carry the scent of heaven, and even the skeptical will listen. You won't need to announce yourself, obedience will introduce you. God is not simply giving you visibility, He is releasing revelation through you. You are becoming a mirror of His movement on earth. The same Spirit that hovered over the waters in Genesis now hovers over your life, preparing to speak light into every shadow. Stay humble as He lifts you. Remember that the same God who reveals can also conceal again if pride creeps in. The unveiling is not an arrival, it is an assignment. You are being revealed to reflect Him. Chosen one. Heaven is opening its curtain, and your life is the stage where His faithfulness will now perform. You will stand in awe, not of your strength, but of His perfect timing. Everything hidden was holy, and everything revealed will glorify Him. Chosen one, every detour you faced was not a mistake, it was divine choreography. You wondered why your path curved when others seemed straight, why doors you prayed for stayed closed, why you were rerouted again and again. But heaven was never lost. Every delay, every diversion, every redirection was an essential line in the blueprint of your calling. You thought the plan was falling apart, yet it was falling into place. God does not waste movement. What seemed like setbacks were sacred strategies meant to prepare you for what ordinary paths could not. He led you through wilderness not because you had gone astray, but because the wilderness was the only road to wisdom, as the Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Those words are not mere comfort, they are a declaration of design. All things, not just victories, but rejections. Not just blessings, but betrayals. Even the moments that broke your heart were used to bend your will toward destiny. God saw every twist before you ever took the first step. You were never off course, you were being carefully redirected. Every detour was a disguise for direction. When a door shut, it was protection from what could have destroyed your focus. When someone walked away, it was God removing what could not travel where you're going. When plans crumbled, heaven whispered, "Now I can build my own." You thought you lost time, but you gained transformation. Your pain became your preparation. The rejection that made you question your worth actually revealed your value. Only precious cargo is guarded so carefully. You may not see it yet, but those closed doors preserved your purity, your peace, and your power. God was teaching you to trust Him beyond reason, to obey when direction didn't make sense, to keep walking when visibility disappeared. That is the essence of faith, to follow the voice, not the map. And you did. Every step of confusion became a seed of revelation. Chosen one, you will soon look back and thank God for every no that saved you from lesser destinies. You will realize that detours are heaven's way of ensuring you arrive whole, not just on time. There is purpose in every pause. Even silence is a step in the symphony of divine timing. You were never meant to take the easy road. You were designed for the anointed one. Straight lines are for ordinary travelers, but the chosen walk winding roads that carve holiness into their hearts. You are one of those travelers. Now the pieces align. The people you met, the lessons you learned, the doors that stayed closed all converge into clarity. You understand now nothing was random. You were being trained for impact. What confused you before will soon confirm you. The route you once cursed will become your testimony of divine guidance. Chosen one, the detours did not delay destiny, they defined it. The path was never meant to be efficient, it was meant to be eternal. And when you arrive at what God promised, you will not only carry the victory, you will carry the wisdom of every turn that brought you there. Chosen one, heaven is preparing to shock your enemies. The same people who laughed at your faith will soon witness the fruit of it. Those who said, "Where is your God?" will see the evidence of His hand upon your life. For too long, you've been silent while others mocked. You didn't fight back, not because you were weak, but because you trusted the one who defends the faithful. Now the Lord Himself rises to speak on your behalf. He has seen every word spoken against you, every scheme crafted in secret, every misunderstanding that tried to bury your reputation. But you never needed to fight for vindication. You were hidden under divine defense. The same mouths that spread rumor will soon spread testimony. God is about to turn your name into proof of His power. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, 2nd book, chapter 2, verse 14. But thanks be to God, who always leads us in triumph in Christ, and through us spreads everywhere the fragrance of the knowledge of Him. You, chosen one, are that fragrance. What once smelled like failure will now smell like favor. Those who dismissed you will inhale grace when they come near you. The very presence of God in your life will convict, confront, and convert hearts that once opposed you. Do not gloat when the tables turn. This is not about revenge, it is about revelation. When light exposes darkness, it is not to humiliate, it is to heal. The shock your enemies feel will not come from your words, but from the undeniable peace that surrounds you. Every trap set for you will become a testimony in your mouth. Every insult will become an instruction for others to trust God in silence. You did not need to prove yourself because heaven already approved you. And approval from heaven always outweighs applause from men. Chosen one, God delayed your vindication so that when it came, no one could deny it was Him. If He had acted too soon, they might have credited coincidence. But now, when your elevation unfolds, everyone will know this was divine. Your name, once whispered in gossip, will now be spoken in gratitude. People will say, "We didn't see it before, but they truly were chosen." The same ground where you were mocked will become the ground of your manifestation. When God moves, He doesn't just restore, He reverses. He causes your critics to become witnesses, your doubters to become announcers, your opposition to become evidence of His goodness. What tried to harm you will end up helping you, pushing you further into purpose. This is the beauty of divine justice. It never embarrasses. It enlightens. And now, heaven's spotlight shines not for your fame, but for God's glory through your story. So, when the victory comes, remember to stay still, humble and thankful. Let your peace speak louder than pride. Let your fruit speak louder than your frustration. And when you sense in your spirit that vindication is near, whisper these words in faith as a seal over your soul. Comment, God wins. Because that's the truth of your story. He always has, and He always will. Chosen one. The reward of obedience is not always loud. It begins as a whisper that grows into a song. You have walked through seasons where obedience felt like loss, where saying yes meant letting go. But heaven was listening. Every time you obeyed without applause, the sound echoed through eternity. The earth may forget, but heaven keeps score in ways unseen. Your journey has been a symphony written in secret. The rests and pauses were just as holy as the melody. You learned to trust the conductor, even when you couldn't hear the next note. And now, the song is reaching its crescendo, the moment where everything you've endured begins to harmonize. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 37, verse 4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He shall give you the desires of your heart. That verse was not a promise of instant gratification. It was a covenant of alignment. Your heart has learned to desire what heaven desires. That's why your reward is near. It will not only bless you, it will bless through you. Chosen one. God never forgets a heart that chooses Him over comfort. When you turned down shortcuts, when you stayed silent instead of fighting back, when you kept sowing kindness even into hard ground, heaven took note. And now, your obedience has ripened into a harvest no hand can steal. But the reward of obedience is not only what you receive, it's what you become. You have become the kind of person heaven can trust with greater things. Your words carry healing. Your presence brings peace. Your faith shifts atmospheres. You are living proof that obedience always bears fruit. And if these words reach you, let them settle like sunlight through glass. If they move your heart, let that movement ripple outward like a candle passing its flame to another. Like this message if it resonates with you. Share it so another weary soul might remember that obedience is never wasted. And subscribe so the flow of heaven's whisper continues to meet you where you are. And if you feel the Spirit's nudge, gentle, not heavy, you may choose to give. Not as a price, not as payment, but as participation. Think of it like watering the very seed that once watered you. A drop of generosity becomes a river of reach. A small act of love becomes a lighthouse in someone else's storm. When you give, even quietly, you join heaven's work of redemption. You turn words into rescue, whispers into wings. The offering leaves your hand but never leaves your life. It returns multiplied in peace, in revelation, in joy. You are part of a divine chain, chosen one. Every light you help kindle illuminates another path. And one day, when you stand before the author of every story, He will show you how your obedience, your giving, your sharing, your love became a bridge for countless souls. That is your reward. Not just crowns in heaven, but the knowledge that you carried light through darkness and never let it die. Chosen one, you are being invited into heaven's strategy room. Few ever glimpse it, for it is not entered by status or intellect, but by intimacy. It is the place where the will of God is whispered before it is manifested, where angels receive instructions, and where the names of the faithful are spoken with honor. You may not see the room with your eyes, yet your spirit feels its nearness. Every time you pray from a place of surrender, you are already there. It is not a chamber of noise, but of knowing. Here, silence carries weight, and stillness becomes language. You sense heaven's order in every breath. Strategies are not drawn on parchment, but impressed upon hearts willing to obey. You begin to understand that divine timing is never random. It is the alignment of obedience, faith, and patience converging into power. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 6, verse 6, "But when you pray, go into your room, close the door and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you." That verse was not just about prayer. It was an invitation into proximity. When you pray in secret, you enter heaven's counsel. The Father leans close. Angels listen, and destiny adjusts. You are no longer reacting to the world, you are responding to revelation. In heaven's strategy room, plans for nations are made, but so are the plans for hearts like yours. You are not a spectator. You are part of the plan. God has positioned you as an agent of light in territories that darkness once claimed. Your prayers carry the coordinates of divine intervention. Every whisper you release in faith becomes a command in the unseen realm. The reason you have felt warfare intensify is because your influence in that realm has grown. You are no longer a bystander. You are a voice heaven recognizes. Every word you speak in alignment with God's will reshapes realities. When you say peace, angels move to enforce it. When you declare light, confusion begins to dissolve. Chosen one. Heaven's strategies are often wrapped in simplicity. The instruction may be small: send a message, make a call, forgive that name, but behind that act lies a ripple of divine consequence. Obedience in small things often unlocks doors for generations. That is why heaven trusts the humble, not the proud. The humble obey without demanding to understand. You are being shown patterns, insights, confirmations that others overlook. Don't rush to share everything you see. Some revelations are meant to incubate in silence. The strategy room of heaven values timing as much as truth. Speak when he says speak. Wait when he says wait. Every delay carries design. And remember, what you hear in secret is sacred. Revelation is not given for superiority, but for stewardship. The greatest strength of a chosen one is restraint to know something powerful and still wait for the appointed time to reveal it. Soon, what has been shown to you in private will begin manifesting in public. The world will marvel at how effortlessly doors open, but you will know it wasn't effort, it was alignment. You stood in heaven's strategy room long before you ever stood on any stage. Chosen one, the King is unfolding his plan and you are written into its center. Walk quietly, listen deeply, and let the strategies of heaven become the rhythm of your every step. Chosen one, heaven is moving in a sacred exchange, a prophetic transfer that has already begun. You have felt the stirring in your spirit, the sense that what once rested on others is now being placed upon you. This is no accident. Mantles that were dropped in rebellion are being reassigned to hearts that remained faithful. Heaven never wastes anointing. It simply searches for a vessel that will carry it with humility. You are that vessel. For years, God has been preparing your hands, shaping your motives, purifying your heart, not so you could boast in power, but so you could carry it without breaking under its weight. The transfer you are sensing is heaven's response to your obedience. Where others sought status, you sought surrender. That is why the mantle fits you now. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Elisha's story in the second book of Kings, chapter 2, verse 15. The spirit of Elijah rests on Elisha. That moment was not about inheritance by blood, but by faithfulness. The mantle moved from one who finished to one who followed with devotion. You, too, have been following through silence, through confusion, through fire. And now the weight of promise that hovered above your head begins to descend. This transfer is not about titles or platforms. It's about function. Heaven is redistributing assignments. Some callings went dormant in the hands of those who refused to continue, but you who kept your heart tender in delay are being entrusted with what they abandoned. The prayers you prayed in tears have positioned you for a grace you did not even know you were qualifying for. Chosen one. This is why you felt heaviness lately. Not all of it was attack. Some of it was weight. The presence of God rests heavier when new authority settles. It changes how you see, how you speak, how you move. You will notice your words carry conviction, your silence carries presence, and your steps shift the atmosphere around you. This is the sign of the mantle. Do not fear it. The transfer does not exalt you, it expands heaven's reach through you. What fell dormant in one generation is being awakened in yours. Songs unsung, prayers unfinished, prophecies half fulfilled, all of them are stirring again, searching for vessels of obedience. You are among them. The heavens record not just who begins the race, but who finishes with faith. The assignments are being redistributed so that nothing God spoke will return void. You will soon feel a new flow in your spirit, an ease where there was effort, a boldness where there was fear. That is not you changing, that is heaven resting upon you. Chosen one. When the mantle comes, protect it, carry it with reverence. Do not compare it to anyone else's. It carries your fingerprints, your journey, your tears. What is placed upon you is perfectly measured for your shoulders. And if your spirit bears witness, if you feel that holy weight even now, respond in faith. Comment 444 as a sign of alignment, declaring that you are ready to carry what heaven is releasing into your hands. Chosen one. Authority is not claimed, it is conferred. You are stepping into a season where heaven's authority begins to flow through your words. Not because you demanded it, but because you endured long enough to be trusted with it. Obedience has forged in you a power that cannot be faked. Those who only imitated holiness will soon fade, but those who lived it in silence will now speak with thunder in their voice. You will not need to shout to be heard. True authority doesn't raise its volume, it carries its own frequency. When you speak, peace will answer. When you pray, walls will shift. Even the atmosphere will recognize you. Not because of who you are, but because of the one who walks with you. The apostle wrote in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verse 19, "Behold, I have given you authority to trample on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you." This is not symbolic, it is spiritual law. The authority Jesus spoke of was not for display, it was for dominion. You are meant to rule over fear, not bow beneath it, to silence lies, not wrestle with them, to walk in the power of love so boldly that even darkness remembers your name. Chosen one, you have been through the furnace for this very reason. Fire burns away imitation until only truth remains. What survived your trials was not your strength, but your authenticity. That authenticity has become your crown of power. When you pray, heaven listens because heaven knows you have no agenda but His will. Your words will begin to carry the fragrance of heaven's authority. The weary will find rest when you speak. The oppressed will feel freedom before you touch them. Miracles will follow not because you chase them, but because they chase the obedient. But remember, this authority is sacred. It is not meant to rule over others, but to lift them. You are not called to control, but to command peace. Your voice is not a weapon of pride, but a tool of healing. To carry divine power is to carry divine responsibility. You will need gentleness as much as boldness. You will soon notice that not every battle will require fighting. Some will end the moment you arrive, because your presence itself is a declaration of victory. Darkness cannot debate with light, it must yield. You are a carrier of that light. Every place your foot treads will shift atmosphere because heaven recognizes its own reflection in you. Be careful not to use your authority as reaction, but as revelation. Do not prove your power, express His presence. Sometimes the greatest act of authority is silence. Choosing not to respond where pride invites you to speak. Chosen one, you are now walking in the rhythm of divine command. Your life itself has become a decree, your existence a sermon of victory. Demons tremble not because of your name, but because your obedience has wrapped you in His. Walk with confidence, but walk with compassion. The true mark of divine authority is not how loudly you speak to mountains, but how gently you lift those crushed beneath them. You carry heaven's seal. Use it to heal. Chosen one, before every great elevation, there is always a final test. It arrives quietly without announcement, yet it carries the weight of destiny. You may already feel it, the tension between what you want and what heaven asks, between comfort and calling. The final test never targets your weakness. It touches your willingness. It asks, will you still obey when it costs something precious? This test is not punishment, it is proof. It proves that your heart belongs entirely to the one who called you. God does not test to fail you. He tests to reveal you. Every trial before now shaped your endurance, but this one will shape your identity. It separates the called from the chosen. The ancient words recorded in the book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse 1 and 2 still echo today. Then God said, "No, take your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about." Abraham's test was never about losing his son. It was about proving his surrender. When he lifted the knife, heaven saw a man who trusted the giver more than the gift. That is what this moment is for you. The altar in your life may not be made of stone, but it's just as real. It could be a dream, a relationship, an expectation, something you've held so tightly that God now asks you to lay it down. The final test always demands trust without explanation. It strips away every why until only yes remains. You may weep as you release what you love, but heaven watches in awe when your obedience outweighs your understanding. This is not loss, it is sacred exchange. Every surrender is a key, unlocking doors that strength could never open. Chosen one, many reach this point and retreat. They mistake the test for rejection, but those who remain on the altar long enough see resurrection. Abraham didn't walk away empty. He walked away transformed. When you lay down your Isaac, God always provides a ram. It's never about what he takes, it's about what he's preparing to give. The final test is also the quietest. It rarely comes with warning or recognition. Others may not understand why you step back, why you let go, why you remain silent when you could speak. They see absence, but heaven sees obedience. The unseen altar is the highest place of worship. This test will refine your vision. You'll learn that obedience isn't proven by what you gain, but by what you're willing to lose. You'll learn that surrender doesn't shrink you, it sanctifies you. And in the silence that follows, you'll hear God's voice clearer than ever before. Chosen one. This is the moment where heaven pauses to watch. The same God who called you is standing beside you as you lay it down. He knows the ache, the fear, the trembling of your hands, but He also knows what's on the other side. The knife will never fall. The blessing is waiting. When you pass this test, the old season will break. What once felt heavy will lift. The path ahead will widen. And the God who asked you to surrender will show you that nothing truly surrendered is ever lost. It is only transformed. Chosen one. The world is shifting. The time of isolation is ending, and the remnant is awakening. You are not alone in your obedience. There are others scattered like glowing embers who have walked through their own fires, endured their own wildernesses, and now rise carrying the same light. Together, you form the army of the obedient, the carriers of holy fire. Heaven calls this company the remnant. They are the ones who refuse to bow to convenience, who stood when it cost them friends, who prayed when it earned them silence. They were hidden, misunderstood, even mocked. But now, as darkness thickens, they rise not in anger, but in anointed unity. You, chosen one, are one of them. You are part of a generation that carries both gentleness and thunder in the same breath. The Word of God declares in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 11, "The Lord thunders at the head of His army. His forces are beyond number, and mighty are those who obey His command." That army is not built on strength, it's built on surrender. It doesn't march with weapons, but with worship. It doesn't seek power, it carries presence. You are not being called to fight the world. You are being called to illuminate it. The rise of the remnant is not loud, it's luminous. It begins with one heart choosing light over bitterness, one voice choosing truth over silence, one act of kindness breaking through despair. Together, those sparks form a wildfire of grace. You are one of those sparks. This movement of heaven flows through ordinary hearts like yours. Hearts that still believe love can change a generation. And messages like this one are not accidents. They are small rivers carrying living water into dry lands. When you let these words touch you, you become part of that river, part of something divine, flowing, alive. If these words reach you, let them breathe through you. Let them ripple outward like light traveling across the water. Like this message, if it stirred something within you, not for the algorithm, but as a whisper to heaven, I am part of the remnant. Share it if it moved you, not as obligation, but as overflow, as if you were handing someone else a cup of living water. Subscribe only if your spirit hungers for more of this sacred rhythm, if you wish to remain within the flow of revelation that has found you today. And if you feel led, only if your heart stirs gently. Not out of pressure, but of joy, consider giving. Think of it not as donation, but as participation. When you give, you are laying another log upon the fire of the remnant. You are keeping the flame alive for those still lost in cold places. Every small act, a comment, a share, a gift becomes a spark. It travels farther than you will ever know. It may land in the heart of someone standing on the edge of giving up, reminding them that God still sees them. That spark might save a soul. That's how heaven multiplies light. So if this word lives in you, comment something simple and true, I rise. Not as noise, but as a declaration that you are part of what heaven is building. Together, the chosen ones rise not for fame, not for fortune, but for flame. You, chosen one, are not a spectator. You are a spark in a divine wildfire that will not be quenched. Keep burning, keep believing, and keep letting your obedience set others ablaze. Chosen one, the season of hiding is over. The time of quiet preparation has fulfilled its purpose, and heaven is about to display what it formed in secret. For years you have been like a seed pressed beneath the soil, covered, unseen, and misunderstood. But everything hidden was holy. The depth you gained in darkness is the very reason you can now stand in the light without losing your roots. God never reveals before a person is ready. He conceals until the heart can hold what the hands will touch. The delay was not denial, it was construction. Every unseen battle, every private victory, every tear shed in silence built a foundation strong enough to bear glory without collapsing under it. You were never forgotten, you were being fortified. The Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 10, "For God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him as you have helped his people and continue to help them." That promise is for you. The season of concealment was not God overlooking you, it was God observing you. While the world saw stillness, heaven saw shaping. You learned to live without recognition, to love without applause, to build without praise. That discipline has become your crown. Now, the curtain lifts. The one who trained you in silence will present you in light. Not as a performance, but as a testimony. The purpose of revelation is never self-display, it is divine evidence. When God reveals you, it is to show what obedience produces. You will not need to announce yourself, heaven will do the introduction. Your name will begin to appear in rooms you have never entered. People will speak of your impact before they meet you. Doors will open that no human hand can shut. But when they do, remember the same humility that guarded you in hiding must guide you in revealing. The posture of a servant must remain even when the crown is visible. Chosen one, public favor will test your private foundation. The applause of men can echo louder than the whisper of heaven if you let it. Guard your ears. The same God who lifted you can sustain you only if you keep listening to his voice above all others. Glory can be heavy, but humility makes it light. This unveiling will not be about fame, it will be about fruit. Lives will be touched, hearts will be healed. Hope will rise simply because you stood where God placed you. The light shining on you will be the same light shining through you. Every season of delay will suddenly make sense in one radiant moment of divine purpose fulfilled. You were never meant to hide forever. God does not light a lamp and place it under a basket. You are that lamp crafted, carved, and now ready to burn. Let the world see, but never forget who set you aflame. Chosen one, step forward. The world is not waiting for perfection. It is waiting for authenticity. You have both scars and oil, both history and hope. Let them all testify. Heaven is revealing you not because of what you have done, but because of who you have become. Stand tall, shine softly, and let your obedience be the light that leads others home. Chosen one, this is the moment heaven has been waiting for, the unveiling of revelation, the release of understanding long withheld. You have walked through silence, endured shaping, passed the final test, and now the Father leans near to whisper what generations long to know. What you are about to hear is not new. It has been written since before time began, but now the seals break, and the faithful are invited to see what love was planning all along. God is ready to tell you everything, not the everything of curiosity, but the everything of destiny. The veil between mystery and meaning is lifting. You are beginning to see how the fragments fit, how the broken pieces formed a design too intricate to grasp before. Every delay had a reason. Every loss was a link in the chain that now pulls you into clarity. Heaven never forgot you. Heaven was framing you, as was spoken in the book of Revelation. Chapter 3, verse 8, I have set before you an open door which no one can shut. For you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. That open door is not just opportunity, it is revelation. God is showing you the why behind the wilderness. the purpose behind the pain. You will soon realize that what you thought was random was rehearsed by grace. Every tear watered wisdom. Every heartbreak opened hearing. Every silence became the sound of heaven writing your next chapter. Chosen one. You are entering a place of deep knowing, a quiet awareness that all things truly do work together for good. The questions that once tormented you will lose their power, not because you found every answer, but because you finally found peace. Revelation is not always information. Sometimes it is rest. To know Him is to trust Him, even when details are unseen. This everything God reveals will not be delivered in thunder. It will come as understanding gently unfolding within you. Old memories will revisit you with new meaning. Past pain will now preach purpose. You will see that every lonely night was a conversation heaven never stopped having with your soul. The story was never about suffering, it was about sanctification. Do not fear what you see next. The future will not frighten you because revelation transforms perspective. What once looked impossible will now look inevitable. The very battles that once terrified you will appear small compared to the glory now awakening. Heaven is not giving you new eyes, it is restoring your original sight. The vision you had before fear blurred it. You will begin to walk with quiet authority, no longer needing proof that you are chosen. The knowledge itself becomes power. You will forgive more easily, speak more gently, and dream more boldly because you finally understand God never left you. Not for a moment. He was guiding, guarding, and growing you into the person who could carry revelation without pride. Chosen one, this is your everything. The scroll of your story has been unrolled. Heaven's ink has dried. The silence has served its purpose. Now, step through the open door with peace. Carry what you know not as a secret, but as a song. The world does not need your perfection. It needs your revelation. Everything hidden has been revealed. Everything lost has been redeemed. And everything you endured has prepared you to walk in this moment with grace. Knowing at last what heaven always knew, you were chosen, and you were worth the wait. Chosen one, you've reached the end of this journey, but in truth, it's not the end at all. It's the quiet inhale before a new beginning. Heaven has spoken, and your heart has heard. You are not the same person who started reading these words. You've walked through fire and emerged with light in your hands. You've seen yourself through heaven's eyes, chosen, cherished, and prepared. Now the message that found you wants to flow through you. If these words have stirred something within, let that movement ripple outward. Like this message, not as a click, but as a candle lifted high, declaring, I still carry light. Share it, not for numbers, but for souls, so that another wandering heart might feel seen, just as you did. Subscribe if you desire to remain in this current of truth, to keep walking this sacred path where heaven keeps revealing itself, piece by piece, through whispers and words. Stay connected, not out of duty, but because your spirit recognizes its home here. And if you feel led, only if your heart feels peace about it, consider giving. Think of it as pouring water into the same well that refreshed you. Your gift becomes a bridge, a way for light to keep reaching others lost in their night. A donation is not a demand. It's a declaration saying, let this light keep burning. Every act of generosity, every comment, every prayer, every share becomes part of the story. Heaven is writing through us all. Leave a comment below, even a single word, something that says, I'm ready, I believe, or simply, Amen. It's not just engagement, it's agreement, a spiritual echo that heaven hears. Chosen one, thank you for walking this path. The story continues within you, through you, and far beyond you. The light goes on,